So it's a time of year, it's getting colder again, and today we're making some warm apple pie, so let's get started. To start, we're going to prepare our apples. You can either cut or twist off your stems, it doesn't really matter which way you want to do it. Then we're going to peel our apples. You can either use a little chef's knife or a peeler. We're going to cut it in half, get the core out either with the lemon baller, or we can quarter the apple up and we can get the core out of there. Once the cores are out, you're going to want to thinly slice them into a medium-sized bowl. Add half a teaspoon of nutmeg, 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. I like to add nutmeg because it really does enhance the flavor of cinnamon. We're going to throw 1 stick of butter into a small saucepan and add 3 tablespoons of flour into there. And then we're going to add 1 cup of sugar, 1/4 cup of water, and we're going to let that simmer down. And once you let it simmer, it'll kind of look like a really light caramel or applesauce. It's been a couple minutes. This thing got a lot thicker and it got a bit taller, I guess, a little bit more bubbly. And we're going to add this into the apples, nutmeg, and cinnamon mixture. You know, whenever it's done, when it starts to kind of look like applesauce, we're going to spill that in there and we're going to mix it around. Okay, we got our pie dough, and if you guys want to make this, link in the description, there's the whole recipe for it. After you reach your desired thickness and diameter of your pie crust, you're going to get your rolling pin, and you're going to really want to flour the bottom of the kind of place where you're going to be working with the dough, because trust me, nobody likes it when it rips. You're going to kind of flap it onto the rolling pin just a little bit. Once it's kind of stuck onto your rolling pin, you're going to roll the rolling pin backwards. And this is why you really need to flour your kind of workspace so it doesn't stick to the kind of counter. And there, now you got your pie crust on your rolling pin. Okay, so you got your rolling pin with your dough in your kind of pie pan. You're going to line up the edge of your dough to your little pan. And you're going to kind of roll it backwards. Run your fingers around it and get all of the air out so it's almost like a good seal around the pan. And then cut the excess out and fold it inside of the pan. And then next you're going to put all of your filling in there, your apples, nutmeg, cinnamon, and kind of caramel sauce. Next we're going to make the lattice. It's definitely like kind of a staple part of a pie, so you really want it to look nice, and I'm going to show you how I do it. And whenever you have it rolled down, you're going to cut about 15 strips. Try to make them all even and put the best 10 in front of you. Then put 5 of your 10 on your filling, from biggest to smallest going outwards. Now we're going to try to create the checkered kind of pattern on your lattice. So you're going to roll back 3, 1 in the middle and 2 on the outsides. Put 1 strip down the middle and lay those 3 back on top of it. Pull back the other 2 you haven't pulled back yet. And then lay a strip where they went and fold it back over. And repeat it for your rest of the lattice on the pie. 1 egg, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of water, and 1 teaspoon of brown sugar. Brush that on top of your crust and put it into the oven at 425 for 15 minutes. And then without opening the door, lower the temperature to 350 for 45 minutes. After you get it out of the oven, you're going to want to let it sit for an hour just to let all the kind of juices thicken up so nothing goes kind of running everywhere.